Welcome to another installment of our tobacco cards. We're going to be focused on cricket again, as usual, because that is what I primarily collect with these old cards. But today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different. I picked up some older sets that I'm really excited about. I know a lot of people just collect singles, but I think some of these great old sets are worth checking out. They're very unique. This first one is from 1925, and it does start with a cricket card. But this is different sports of the world. There's a soccer card as well, boxing. This is from 1925 by a company called Boguslavsky. But a lot of famous, well-known sports here. Some that you wouldn't expect. But one thing that really drew me to this set, and here's the back. One thing that really drew me to this set was not necessarily the water polo card. It was actually the baseball card. So this set was obviously produced in England, but this card is actually my earliest baseball card now, from 1925. And this is cool because it's not just a generic player. It's actually George Sisler, who's a very famous Hall of Famer. So I have a genuine George Sisler card from 1925, and all I had to do was buy an English set, which is kind of ironic. So that was my first set I picked up. I thought that was a really, really cool piece of history. And it's, again, the sports records, a bunch of different sports there. The next set I picked up was a 1935 set. 1935 of Mitchell's cigarettes. And this is basically a look back at all the kind of biggest people and moments in 1934. So, one of the things that I just find absolutely amazing about this set is that you've got Roosevelt and Hitler and Chiang Kai-shek and others. Queen Elizabeth as a little girl. This is her first card. But I just find this to be just such a fascinating piece of history. Roosevelt and Hitler. This is actually Hitler's first card from 1935. Well before World War II, and obviously Roosevelt as well. One of his first cards. So that in and of itself is really cool and kind of one of the draws to me of the history of this set. But, also has some other really amazing cards. So Duke Ellington, famous jazz musician. This is his first card. A very nice copy of that. There's a series of sports athletes here as well. Henry Cotton being a famous one. You got some celebrities like Mae West. And, one of the greatest jockeys of all time, Gordon Richards. You've got Fred Perry and Dorothy Round, Hall of Fame players there. And then, gotta love any time that I get Don Bradman in the mix. I'm going to be happy about that. So this is a Don Bradman card. Alex James, famous soccer player. And then just a handful of kind of random folks as well. So picked those up, thought that was pretty cool. I also, this is not even mostly sports related, but I just think this is such a neat set. I picked this one up as well. It's from 1937, and it's showing you how ancient things were back in 1837 and how modern they are now in, the brand new year of 1937. So it's just a really interesting look back at what was considered modern and new and what the world was like 100 years before this, which, from our modern sensibilities, looks like it might as well have been 500 years ago. This one does also, like everything it seems like in these sets, have a few sports cards. So you've got Wally Hammond there on the cricket card, and you can kind of see what cricket looked like back in the 1830s versus the 1930s. Horse racing doesn't look like it changed very much, frankly. That's Gordon Richards. But then, I think the boxing card is really cool. And there's also... Look at the old golfer back in the 1830s. That does look like pretty hilarious. But the boxing card, talks about Gene Tunney and Jack Dempsey fighting. So I think that's a picture of them on the front, which is also just pretty cool to have that card there. So just want to show that set off. Now to the good stuff. Picked up a set of these 1979 Brooke Bond, which, the key card here is the Ali, which is neat. This is a very inexpensive set. I was happy to get for a good price. But Mark Spitz, Jesse Owens, Wilma Rudolph, and Nadia Comaneci. So I thought those were pretty cool. Picked up a couple more Sutcliffe rookies from 1922. This is the nicer condition one. Got those pretty cheap. Always happy to add some Jack Hobbs to my collection that I didn't have. These were new. Picked up a couple more Bradmans. So that's the 1930 players. I got that whole set, which also has Stan McCabe rookie in it. So I've got probably 7 or 8 of these sets. They're really cheap, and I just think it's tough to pass up when you're talking about a second or third year Bradman card in pretty nice condition, plus a lot of other Hall of Famers, including McCabe's rookie. This is the Carrera's Popular Personalities, which is one of the only oval sets. I just love these. I think they're so cool. I have this whole set in a booklet, but I have not had the guts to break that up, so I wanted to pick up a single for Bradman as well. And then this is a much more rare rookie from McCabe. This is a Giant Brand Licorice card from Australia. In pretty nice condition. These are typically pretty messed up, so that's my rarest McCabe by far. As usual, picked up a few more Larwood rookies, which I always like to do. Picked up a rookie for Wakar Yunus, which is his first card from Ritchie & Co. from 1994. Picked up Clary Grimmett's real rookie card, which I thought was 1925. This is actually from 1924. So was really excited to even find out that this card existed, and had to buy it when I had a chance to. Got a few 1956 doubles in really, really nice condition. So you've got Ken Barrington's rookie, Weeks' rookie, Worrell's rookie, and Muhammad. And this one has the bonus of another Hall of Famer, which is Arthur Morris. So these are all from the Rover paper for boys. All these are 1956. 1 year before the Barrett 1957 with Weeks and Worrell in it as well. Also found these, which I thought were really cool. So these are fold-out cards. They're like little booklets. And this one I thought was cool because it's got a few famous players in it. But the one that I was most excited about was Hobbs. Not in great condition. These are typically hard to find in good condition, but thought that was really cool. And this one I was really excited about. If you know much about the history of the West Indies, George Headley, who's in the top right there, he was considered the Black Bradman, just a really incredible batsman, who kind of opened up a lot of doors for more, players of African descent or from the West Indies to get to play in some more serious matches. So he was just a really, really, really one of the best batters of all time. And I didn't know that this card existed until recently. I actually thought his first card was produced after his playing career, but this one is from 1933, I believe. And just a really, really neat card. So I was glad I was able to pick that one up. Finally, these are the ones I was probably most excited about. So maybe I should have started with these, but I wanted to kind of save the best for last. I found a gentleman on a site who was looking to sell some of his collection, and he had basically the whole 1901 Will set, but he was willing to break it up and sell me the cards I was most interested in. So, CB Fry, I didn't have most of these cards. I had the Wilf Rhodes. I was happy to pick up another one of these in really nice condition. I did not have a CB Fry. This one is not in as nice of condition, but I was happy to just get one in my collection. The Grace was the one I was most excited about. This one is, in nicer condition. It doesn't have sharp corners, but the surface is clean. The picture is really sharp, and just the overall pretty clean card. I was able to pick up the Ranji as well. And then this Ranji here, I had not seen before, and I had to ask around a little bit, but this is a 1900 Cohen Weenan. So this is a more rare card that you don't see around too much. And again, this is from a year before the Wills. These are 1901s. This is from 1900. Ranji does have a couple cards earlier than this, but this is my earliest Ranji by a year or two. So that's nice. And then similar to earlier when I mentioned that I picked up an old baseball card from George Sisler, this is actually my oldest baseball card period. These are from 1901. So these are Wills cards, similar back actually to these ones, but these are from 1901, and you got the cricket one with the picture of Grace on it, and then you got really one of the earliest baseball cards I've ever seen in person, but it was actually produced in England. So 1901, America's favorite game, baseball. And I did buy one 1896 Wills card. So the front is really nice. The back has some staining on it. But, the player isn't anything of note. But, getting one with no creases in it, I just thought it was cool to have finally my first 1896 Wills, which these are getting pretty hard to find. Selling for really high prices. A set of these just sold for, close to $2,000. So definitely a nice set. And then finally, rookie card from Tom Sharkey, who was one of the more famous heavyweights from the late 1800s, early 1900s. This card is his first from 1901, and he had some epic bouts with Jim Jeffries. They had 2 fights, and both of them went to the distance. The first one was 20 rounds, and the second was 25 rounds, and both of them apparently were kind of split decisions, or Sharkey was winning the fight, and Jeffries ended up winning them. But just a cool piece of history. I have some of his cards from 1908, but it was nice to actually pick up his rookie. So that's it. That's what I've been collecting the last month or so. Trying to slow down a little bit just because the collection's getting pretty big pretty fast, but it's hard not to pick these up. They're just really, really cool.